Bookish Musings, where I'm sharing my love for reading at my own pace. Welcome back to another video. If you are new here, I do welcome you to subscribe down below if you're interested in all things books. I also talk about health and fitness on Fridays between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. If you're interested in following me on my health fitness journey, tune in on those days. But if you're here for the books, you are in the right place. So I am going to be reorganizing my mobile library. My mobile library is right here. I used to call it my book cart, but one day when I was talking to my sister on FaceTime, I turned the camera around and she saw this cart here with all of my books, and she got so excited. She was like, oh my God, that's such a good idea to have a mobile library. And I was like, mobile library, I like the sound of that. And so going forward, I'm calling this my mobile library. So I'm gonna be reorganizing my mobile library, y'all. And so I am going to try to set this up for success for 2026, because I said I wanted to be more intentional in my reading, not just reading like random books. I don't go by TBR, like a strict TBR, like, okay, these are the books that I want to read and, and I have to read them. No, because reading is fun for me. I don't want that pressure, it's not all about pressure. And so it's all about fun, but I want to set my book cart up. So when I go to my book cart, all the anticipated reads, all of the books that I want to read this year are right here in front of my face. I don't have to go digging. I don't have to think about it. They're right here. And so let's go ahead and get into it. So let me move my book cart next to me. I might do a B-roll because it might be kind of lengthy, y'all, okay? And I don't want to keep you guys on here longer than I have to. So a couple months ago, I set this up thinking that I wanted it a certain way. I had my anticipated reads right here, or backlisted books on the top, and my new books, I think my new books on the second cart, and then all of my library books at the bottom, because at the time I was checking out library books, girl, and I was not reading them, and I didn't want to get them lost, so I put them here. But I'm going to reorganize this again, and so I think what I'm going to do is, because I do have set authors that I do want to get through some of their books, at least 3 of them: James Baldwin, Bernice L. McFadden, and Philippa Gregory. Those are all new authors to me, and I want to get through at least 3 of their books this year. And so I'm going to place all of their books on the top cart, okay? So I'm making a decision right now that I'm going to place all of my anticipated reads on the top cart. So let's see here. If you could see all these books around me, I think I'm in good company, because most of you guys are like in the same boat as I am. All right, so I'm going to go through these books that I have on the shelf. I might show the book, like the front of the book, but I'm not going to go into details and determine whether they're going to stay on this cart as anticipated or need to read books, or want to read books. Not need, okay, because I don't need to do anything, but I want to read the book. Okay. Hold You Down by Tracy Brown. No. Okay, I do want to read it, but it's not like I must read. Mama by Terry McMillan. Yes, I do want to read that book, because I am doing like a 90s series this year. The Darkest Child, which has been on my list forever. I'm going to keep that book on there. Mama B by Michelle Stimpson. Yes. The House of Eve. Yes. God Don't Like Ugly. No. Kristen Hanna, The Nightingale. I want to say yes. Definitely yes. The Book of Night Women. Take My Hand. Yes. A Lesson Before Dying. Yes. The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store. No. I do want to read it, but not right. Like, it's not like a must read. Now, I want to say also that this setup may change as my mood changes. I may put books on and take them off. Okay? So this is not concrete. A Prince by Paper. I want to say
no, but this is going to go in another pile. My romance pile. Where's my romance pile?
Can't find it. When I need. Okay, here it is. All right. James, yes. A Gamble at Sunset. A Gamble at Sunset by Vanessa Riley. Yes. I just put this up here because I had to rebuy this book. This is The Ways of White Folks by Langston Hughes. I read this years ago. Love, love, love this book down. Had to get another copy because I lost my copy. This shouldn't be here, but I do want to reread it. So this will go probably over here. Okay, I'll organize that later. Okay, let's get to going. The Alice Network. No. Frozen River. Yes. American Beauty. Yes. And of course, yes, Don't Cry for Me. Okay, so these are the 3 books in the, what is this? I forgot the name of the series, but these 3 are by Alyssa Cole. They're some of her older books that I've had. I had these books, at least the first one, this one years ago, but I got rid of it. And then I rebought them on Thrift Books. And I want to say, yes, I do want to read at least the first book, okay? So I'm going to say yes. This is going to go into another pile of mine. And I'm going to put the other 2 books back because I'm not quite ready for those just yet. And then we've got Ann Petrie. This is a recent purchase of mine. And although I do want to read another book of hers, it's not like highly anticipated because I do want to read another book from her. So I'm going to put that to the side. Okay, so this, yeah, we got another book. Oh, okay. Another book. This is a nonfiction, Playing in the Dark by Toni Morrison. No, but I do want to read it. And so when I get to Toni Morrison this year, hopefully I will read that one as well because it's really, really slim book. So I think that's it. And so now I'm going to put the books on the top shelf that I will be reading. Okay. Or I want to read, like that are highly anticipated. Okay, so the first book is this one by Ann Petrie, The Street. Highly anticipated. That will probably be my next read. And then I do want to read from Bernice L. McFadden. And here are all of her books right here. And so I'm going to put all of them up there. Am I going to read all of these? I may, but I do want to at least read 3 this year of hers. And so I'm going to be mood reading, right? Whatever book that I want to read, I'll just pick that book out. If we get to the other ones, that's even better. But all of these are anticipated reads because it's a new author that I want to get into. Isaac's Song by Daniel Black. This is definitely a anticipated read for me. Daniel Black, I want to continue with his books. So I'm going to put that one right there. What else? Okay. So James Brown. James Baldwin. Oh my God. Not James Brown, y'all. Oh my gosh. So this is his biography right here. This one is by David Lemming Baldwin, James Baldwin, a biography. And so I want to read his biography first. This one is about close to 400 pages. Well, not quite. It's 388. Not bad. But these are all of the books that I have by him. This one is Go Tell It on the Mountain. We've got The Fire Next Time, which I've read before. So I'm going to put this one up here and I'll reorganize it later on. I'm not going to reread that one just yet. And this one is Giovanni's Room and If Beale Street Can Talk. So all of these books are going to go right here. The next author that I want to read from in 2026 is Philippa Gregory, and these are 2 of her books here. I'm gonna go get the other book, which is the second book to this one. This one is called Tidelands. She's a historical fiction author. And this one is A Respectable Trade. It does have a black man on the cover, so I can't wait to read this one. I may start with this one first. We'll see. We'll see when I get to this author, but I'm not ready for her just yet. So I will put these books right here, and I'll dig out the second book in the series later on because it's over there. Forgot this one by Bernice L. McFadden. Stick that right there. Oh, that's a taller book. Okay, so I want to read nonfiction this year, y'all, because I've been putting off my nonfiction, and I started out reading nonfiction. I started out reading nonfiction when I went back into, or got back into reading, and I want to get back to it, okay? But putting the books up here hopefully will remind me to read my nonfiction. So yes, The Warmth of Other Suns makes its appearance once again. In one of my videos, I did start this book, but I put it down because I got distracted by other books that just wasn't worth it in the end. So I should have continued with this book, to be honest with you. And so I think I'm going to, because this is a chunkier book, I mean, it's not that bad. And I heard it reads like narrative nonfiction. And so that is my favorite way to consume a nonfiction, when it's narrative nonfiction. And so I'm going to put the book right here. And then I chose 3 nonfictions, okay? This one is an anticipated read because it's been on my TBR for a long time, been in my collection for years, as well as this one. My now fiance gave me this book. He gave this to me shortly after we met, and he still brings up the fact that I never read the book that he gave me. And I am really interested in this book, especially in this time and age. This book is, it's quite dense, I'm sure, with the subject matter, but it's going to be very informative. And I just need to go ahead and read the book because Nicole Hannah, what's her name? Nicole Hannah Jones put a lot of work into this book. It's not that long. It's only, 476 pages. So yeah, it is long. But anyway, I want to read this one. I want to prioritize this for 2026. And I feel like since I am only putting, put those together, only picking out 3 books that I want to read, that's nonfiction here. I may read more, but I want to at least read 3 this year, okay? Specifically these 2 books. And then I chose this one as the 3rd book. They Were Her Property, because I just watched 12 Years a Slave, okay? I've never seen that movie, and y'all, it made me so mad. Watching that movie made me understand why people don't like reading about slave books or books that have this slavery theme in it. I do understand. However, I do think it's important for us not to forget, but I definitely understand because it made me so mad, and it just showed how white women back in the day were just as cruel as their masters. The mistresses were just as cruel. When I watched that, I could barely watch it. I had to skip scenes, y'all. Yeah. So I want to read that. I want to read more on that, okay? Because of 12 Years a Slave. Daniel Black. Okay. So also in my video, I said that I wanted to read some big books, and I've had this one for a while and I really want to read it. So I'm going to stick this one up here, okay? Because this one it's 800 pages. But I heard people usually like it. So I think it's going to be a book that I can't forget. So I'm going to stick that up there. And then I want to read a few. Even though this is a big book, The Warmth of Other Suns, that is in a different category. I don't want to, cheat. I don't want to cheat. So I'm going to choose another book that is over 450 pages, which I consider a big book. What book would that be? Well, this one may be the one, because I can't think of one that I have to read, like that I really, really have been anticipating reading. So this one may be the one, and I'll just leave it at that. If I come up with another one, I'll just put it here. In 2026, got all of the new authors that I want to read, their biographies up here, James Baldwin at least, Ann Petrie. I got some nonfiction up here. Oh, and I did say I wanted to read a classic, so I need to put a classic up here, y'all. So the next category for the top shelf is going to be classics, and I'm going to choose these two classics here to read from: Chinua Achebe and Things Fall Apart, and Ernest Gaines, A Lesson Before Dying. They're both Black classics. I do want to read one non-African American classic. Don't know what that is right now, but when I figure it out, I will place it here, because I do want to have at least 3 books of of classics to choose from. Read at least 3, okay? So we'll see if we are able to do that. So I'm going to put those right there. All right, so that is it for the books that I am prioritizing to read in 2026. So we've got our big book challenge. We've got Daniel Black, which I wanted to read more from him in 2026. I've got a classic. I've got some nonfiction. I've got my most anticipated read for 2026, The Street by Ann Petrie, and then Bernice L. McFadden, James Baldwin, and Philippa Gregory on this card. So those are the books that I am definitely going to try to read, okay? So the second shelf, I'm going to just take these books off, and I'm going to replace them with books that are intentional reads that are within my genre, which includes some literary fiction, some historical fiction, a thriller every now and then. So I'll put a few thrillers up here, and any other books that I just want to read. But those are generally the genres that I read: historical fiction, literary fiction, and thrillers. Okay, so those are going to go here. Not must reads, but just books that are intentional books that I am interested in reading, right? Okay, so Fast. I'm going to keep Fast up here because I'm interested in reading that. Oh my God. Okay, so I can't keep all these books up here, y'all. I cannot keep all of these books up here because I already have to put some of these books because they're not going to fit on the card, okay? All right, so we've got Fast. I said yes to that book, so I'm going to put it in the yes pile. The Sweetness of Water, I'm going to put this in another pile. So no. Renee Watson, yes, goes in a yes pile. Waiting to Exhale, yes, I do want to read that. The Middle Passage by Charles Johnson, yes, I want to read that. Connie Briscoe, no. One of Us is Next, yes. Let's keep that as a thriller option. Put that with our thrillers. The Good Lord Bird by James McBride. There are so many other books by him that I want to get to first, so no. Business Not as Usual by Sharon C. Cooper. I got this from a Black-owned bookstore back home in Virginia a couple of months ago, and I wanted to support them, so I did buy 2 romances. I actually bought this one, and I bought A Run at Love by Tony Shiloh. So I'm going to say yes to one book, not both books, okay? So this is going to go in my romance pile. I'm not a romance reader. But I am looking for that romance contemporary author that I, want to read more from. I haven't been able to find that, unfortunately. So I'm going to put this in my romance pile, which is right here. A Run for Love, I'm just going to put that away until I'm ready for it. Leah Motley, The Girls Who Grew Big. Yes, I do want to keep that one. Family Lore, no, this one is going to go in another pile. April Sinclair, I Left My Back Door Open. Yes, 90s book. And then, of course, I'm going to say no to The Delta Sisters by Kayla Perrin. And then yes to these books by Michelle Stimpson, because I do want to do a series on these books. So the books that I said yes to. romances. I'm trying to be intentional, okay? I don't want to add books. I started to add a book that, you know, I might still read it, because these books that I'm putting on the mobile library are not concrete. These are just books that I have a high interest in. These are like books that I definitely like, projects, okay? Books that I do want to get to in 2026. These are books that are within my genre that I want to read. I'm going to pick out 2 romances. Topaz by Beverly Jenkins and The Extraordinary Union by Alyssa Cole. And then a few thriller books that I want to read. Not So Perfect Stranger by L.S. Stratton. Stacey Abrams, Rules of Engagement, and The Housemaid's Secret. I just put this up here because I want to just read the second book. I did give away the first book, and I'll probably most likely will do the same with this book, but I just want to read it, right? I'm not going to read the last book because I heard it was not really worth it, but I do want to just read it, I think. So I don't have enough space on the second cart, so I'm just going to put the books, these books, on the third cart. And of course, Toni Morrison is going to go here as well, because this is a book that I want to read. Fast is going down here. Asada, I do want to read this one, which is a nonfiction, but I do want to read it, so I'm going to put that down here on the third cart. And then, can't read everything, y'all. Just trying to select books that I'm interested in reading. Okay, The Thread Collectors, which is a historical fiction, should be good. We're gonna put that here. The Wife Upstairs, which is another thriller. And then this book right here is from the 90s. It's by B.B. Moore Campbell. This one came from my fiance's father, who recently passed. We were cleaning out his house, and this book was found. As you can see, it's in pristine, I probably bent the corner, honestly, but it's in pristine condition. It doesn't even look like he read it. He might have bought this, and he was in his 80s, y'all. He probably bought this when it first came out, I'm sure, because the pages are like still crisp. Never been opened, the spine never cracked, nothing. And so I did take this from my fiance. He was going to give it to his niece, but I took it and said I wanted to read it, and so I do have to read it, okay, because, you know, I took it, so I do have to read it. It sounded very interesting. And here is B.B. Moore Campbell. She's beautiful, a beautiful lady, 90s writer. So while this one isn't high on my list, I do want to read it because it belonged to he would have been my future father-in-law, and I loved him dearly. So I do want to read that book. I'm going to put that right there. I will get to that book. Only library book that I have right now is Best Offer Wins. I will be reading this pretty soon. Can't wait to get to this because the premise sounds really good. So I'm going to put that down at the bottom as well. All the other books I'm going to find a home for. I don't want to read them right now. These books that I just showed in this mobile library are not set in stone. Like I said, I may add some more books. I'll probably add some non-Black classics here at the top, and maybe another over 450 page book that I want to definitely get to in 2026. Like, I'm definitely going to be prioritizing these books. These books are books that I'm just generally interested in reading, okay? Because it's just my vibe. As well as the books on the bottom shelf, my vibe as well. And so I think Queenie is not really high on the list, okay? Like, I do want to read it, and I will read it, but let's put that at the bottom, okay? Because, you know, that's not, you know, that's not like a super high, she's not super high priority. She is not. Okay. All right. So I have a lot of books, y'all. I have a lot of books that, yeah. I think I'm going to put this thriller here too. This is When the Reckoning Comes by LaTanya McQueen. I want to read that one, so I'm going to put that there too. So I like this because that way I can mood read whenever, mood read from the books that I have on this cart, because they're generally things that I do want to read anyway. And so I like the fact that they are all here in my mobile library, and I can just go and pick whatever I want to read for the month. I'm going to find a home for the other books. I just did get another bookshelf, and so I will be putting that up probably today too. And you'll see that in a vlog video either before this one or after this one, probably before. But yeah, that's where all the other books are gonna go. So that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Leave all your feedback and comments down below. I will see you in the next video. Take care and be blessed. Bye.